So let's review the Smart, Secure Electricity Systems Programme Consultation Summary Document. This came out quite recently, a few days ago in April. The closing date is June 24. So we're just going to look at some of the key ideas in this document to see how they apply to different kinds of consumers. Okay, so what we're looking at really is the smart energy sector and the direction of travel, just what that means. The purpose is look at how consumers will look at the market and really the evolution of demand side response services. So how consumers respond to price signals to change their behavior. For example, by turning off their appliances, start using less electricity or gas at certain peak times as notified by their suppliers. First of all, we're looking at a system that's going from a single one where there's supply pushed through to demand, where consumers have a choice of different ways in which to use their energy, from EVs to heating and so on. They might have solar PV or their own generation or a heat pump. And they're working with suppliers who also have different sources of energy, increasingly renewable mixes, along with a certain amount of, say, gas generation. And the idea is to balance the new demand from these consumers with supply. So how do you balance this? Well, you can turn up supply whenever demand goes up, or turn down supply, or you can turn down demand or turn up demand as required. So a system that enables this kind of bilateral information sharing, so you can tune both supply and demand, is the purpose of this kind of document. That leads to many exciting possibilities. That's the idea here. So in the consultation package, we've got potential details on how policy might evolve around appliances, tariffs, and licensing. There is already some stuff happening. You've got time of use tariffs in there. We've smart devices coming into the market. And the key thing is making sure that consumers benefit from these new opportunities. And the point about this is having freedom to choose. So consumers, end users, need to be given options so they can decide what they want to do. Again, there's a lot of general stuff in here about the context, how to manage demand peaks. So essentially, in the past, you typically had energy usage go up and then you had a peak at tea time, it went down. Now we're seeing kind of multiple peaks over the day as we try and manage what's going on. So we need to try and shift how and when people consume energy, or electricity in particular. So 3 elements in the consultation package. The first one is the energy smart appliance consultation, so a electrical consumer device that can adjust itself. So smart fridges, smart TVs, all kinds of smart devices that can turn things on and off. This is something that we saw a few years ago. You have lots of boxes that do things. Well, you add something on there that makes it smart, and so it's able to respond to these price signals and turn itself up or down depending on what's going on in the market. Should they have certain standards? I suppose if you have millions of these working at the same time, will that cause a problem? Because again, there are feedback loops which tend to cause issues. So there will be a question around, well, do you have to try and stagger these in some way? How will you have a large number of devices working together in a way that doesn't damage the system? If you have all these devices, you're going to need some software to log in and deal with them. So what does that mean in terms of home energy management systems? How will home energy management systems help us out? There will be legal requirements on load control services, and again, load control license. So nobody can just turn on and turn off your appliances. They have to go through a system and be regulated in some way and be able to swap from one provider to another without any issues. So again, this is all about fair and competitive markets. So essentially anybody who has a contract with the consumer to control these devices must be licensed. That makes sense. You don't want any random person just turning your lights on and off or messing with your systems. You will treat it fairly, and you'll need an interface so that you're able to connect to and either opt into or opt out of the actual services that are being delivered through the use of your device. Again, these are connected devices, so cybersecurity matters quite a lot. These principles are important. Okay, tariff access. So these time of use tariffs, what that really means is when the price is high, you might want to either sell back from, say, stored energy, so you've got batteries, charging, or you've got a EV. You might want to sell back the energy so you can make some money there. And then when prices are low, you might want to be charging. So really it's kind of selling high, buying low, and using that as a way to trade and make some money out of your investment in these devices. So again, the whole point is all these ESAs can be used alongside innovative tariffs, and you can save money or actually make money through this process. To create the standard, there's going to be a working group. So industry people who will look at this and kind of come up with a set of standards to suggest what we should do. And there's an MVP standard. So really again, this is just about making sure that the appliance you have, once you bought your box and you've got the smart connected to it, when there is a tariff contract that applies to it, all this works seamlessly with the actual system so that the technical and the contractual elements work well together. So next steps, there's a consultation here, engage with industry, and put this package together. There's not a huge amount in here that is particularly novel from a technical point of view. It's a detail about how this works. What are the characteristics of the devices you can buy? How will they connect to the electrical system and be controlled by parties? And how will contracts work so that you can make some money out of this device, or you can save money by using your devices intelligently within the framework of this operating mechanism.